What's up guys, my name is Steven and I'm the owner and lead developer of West World Roleplay. A large majority of Westworld is completely unique. You're going to go onto a lot of different other servers and not see the things that you'll be able to see in Westworld. A great example is one I always like to explain to people. Now with past servers, you probably have been robbed before and had your weapons taken. You've gone to the law enforcement and you try to explain to them what your gun looks like and so forth, and you never see that gun ever again. So something I developed to counterbalance that is weapon serial numbers. So what you're going to be able to do in game is you can type in /inspect with any of your firearms in your hand. Your character basically does an animation inspecting the gun, and then across your screen you basically see what type of weapon it is in the serial number. Now with that being said, you can keep track in your own notes of what your weapon serials are. You even can go to law enforcement in Westworld and basically let them know what serial numbers that you have. Another unique thing about Westworld is we have outlaw gunsmiths besides gunsmiths. Now, outlaw gunsmiths, for example, can scratch serial numbers at lower levels. Now, with that being said, if you inspect a gun that's been scratched, instead of it seeing a serial number, it will say scratched. Now, a higher level outlaw gunsmith, for example, can take two different guns, a stolen one and a clean one, and they can copy the clean serial number onto the stolen one. Now, to counterbalance this, what I've done is when a lawful gunsmith inspects the gun, they'll see that the serial number is tampered, meaning it's not the original serial number. Now, I want to introduce you to how people come into Westworld for the first time.
Howdy there, partner. Welcome to Valentine.
Now, another great example for law enforcement players, we have something called the Arrest Archives, or the AA as we call it short. Now, this is a book that can be accessed whenever you are at any law office, and this book keeps track of all arrest records and so forth, so it's all done in the Commonwealth, not outside, not in Discord, or as we call it, the newspaper. I have tried to do my best to minimize Discord's use to try to keep it directly in Commonwealth. A lot of Reddit servers claim that they have a very good skill system. Our skill system is brand new and unique because I've made it from the ground up. Now, everything that you do in Westworld has a skill. If you mine, you gain mining skill, you get better at finding certain things, you get better yield and so forth. Now with farming, for example, of course you gain higher yield with higher level, and crops grow faster higher level you are. Now there's things I want to add to the skill system I haven't added yet. So the skill system's still in development. There's still a lot of things I want to add to it. For example, I want to add a gun skill where, you know, if you don't use your gun that often, when you go to aim, it swivels back and forth. Another skill I'd like to add is horse riding, not horse training, horse riding. So if you're not very familiar with riding, if you try to go at fast speeds, you need to take a turn too quick, you might fly off your horse. Stuff like that, stuff that's completely unique to Westworld. Another system that's completely unique to Westworld is our addiction and drug system. Now, most servers, for example, have drug uses and you have effects to the person itself. Ours is pretty in-depth. Each drug basically has a chance to give you an elite buff, a good buff, or a bad trip. Now, each drug has different buffs and different bad trips. And from that being said, if you don't do your drugs because you're addicted, there are counter effects that make you want to do them even more. Now, another system in Westworld that's completely unique is how our locals work. Now, our pedestrian rates and wagon rates through the Commonwealth are through the roof. Basically, you're never going to really go into any city or any town in the Commonwealth and it's going to feel empty. One thing that I always try to press about Westworld is Westworld is fully living. And what I mean by that is, for example, you could be riding around trying to go from Strawberry to Blackwater and you get ambushed. Now, the key thing that I did was NPCs at any given time can ambush you at random locations throughout the world. There's a lot of things I'm currently developing for native players. For example, natives will be able to scalp other players. Now, the reason for this is not only for the brutality of it, there will be native secret traders that natives can trade these scalps in to get very rare and secretive weapons. Another thing that I'm also developing is natives will have the ability to ride buffalo. There's quite a lot of other things that are already in the game for the natives, but it's quite meta and I don't really want to go in depth about what natives have. So if you're interested in playing a Native American player, feel free to come in and try to join one of the tribes. There's a lot of things that make Westworld unique, and there's not enough time in one video to go over every little thing that does. Across the screen right now are a plethora of things that make Westworld truly unique. Thank you for spending this time with me, and I hope to see you in Westworld.